By 1944, World War II had reached a critical stage. The Allies were preparing some of the largest military operations in history. German forces carefully monitored Allied movements. Every convoy, radio transmission, and troop deployment could reveal valuable information. Deep inside Allied headquarters, military planners began considering an unusual idea. Instead of simply moving armies, what if they could create entire armies that did not actually exist? Please. To accomplish this mission, the military assembled an extraordinary group of people. Artists, designers, architects, engineers.
This secret organization would eventually become known as the Ghost Army. Their mission was simple in theory but incredibly dangerous in practice.
Their most famous tools looked almost unbelievable. Instead of steel tanks, many were made from inflatable rubber. Every detail mattered. Shadows, tire tracks, vehicle placement, and camp layouts had to appear authentic enough to fool enemy reconnaissance.
The deception extended far beyond visual tricks. Radio specialists created entire networks of...
Another secret weapon involved sound. Engineers recorded tanks, trucks, and troop movements, then...
By combining fake vehicles, fake radio traffic, and fake battlefield sounds, the Ghost Army was preparing for its first militaries. The unit's first field operations placed enormous pressure on its members. Their success depended on convincing experienced German commanders. Every movement was carefully planned. Even tire tracks and vehicle positions were designed to create a believable illusion for enemy reconnaissance pilots. German intelligence relied heavily on aerial photography. If the deception failed under close examination, entire Allied operations could be placed at risk.
While fake vehicles fooled enemy pilots, radio operators worked continuously to convince German analysts that entire divisions were moving into position.
Powerful speakers broadcast the sounds of armored columns advancing through the region. To anyone listening from miles away, the fake army appeared completely real. Slowly, the deception began working. German commanders started adjusting plans based on movements that existed only inside the Ghost Army's carefully constructed illusion. The true purpose of the Ghost Army was not simply to fool the enemy. Their deception created opportunities for real Allied forces operating in entirely different locations.
As reports arrived, Allied leaders realized the deception was influencing German decision-making exactly as intended.
Despite their unusual role, the members of the Ghost Army faced many of the same dangers as ordinary soldiers. If discovered, they could quickly become targets.
With each successful mission, confidence grew inside the unit. Yet the most important operations of the war were still ahead.
By late 1944, Allied commanders trusted the Ghost Army enough to assign increasingly important missions.
Speed became essential. Entire fake divisions sometimes had to appear within hours, convincing German intelligence that major Allied forces had suddenly arrived. The illusion depended on countless small details. Every tire track, tent, and vehicle position contributed.
When enemy aircraft appeared overhead, tension spread throughout the camp. The success of the operation depended on those photographs looking completely authentic.
Once again, the deception worked. German intelligence accepted the fabricated evidence and adjusted its assessments accordingly.
The sound deception added another layer of realism. To enemy listeners, entire armored divisions appeared to be moving into position for an attack.
Radio specialists carefully copied the communication patterns of real military units, creating digital footprints decades before the digital age existed.
While German attention focused on the fake army, genuine Allied units were moving elsewhere with far less resistance than expected. Every incorrect German decision created new opportunities for Allied success. The Ghost Army was influencing battlefield strategy without firing a single shot. By now, the Ghost Army had proven its value beyond doubt. Yet the final months of the war would demand even greater deception. As winter arrived across Europe, the war entered a dangerous new phase. Cold weather created new challenges. Every detail became even more important because mistakes stood out clearly against the snow-covered landscape.
German reconnaissance remained active despite worsening weather. Each mission represented another test of whether the Ghost Army's deception could survive close inspection.
Radio deception became increasingly sophisticated. Operators carefully read habits of entire military...
Sound deception remained one of the unit's most powerful tools. German forces often reacted to military movements that existed only through carefully engineered audio recordings.
The unit's success allowed genuine Allied forces to operate with greater freedom, reducing risks and improving the chances of successful operations.
German commanders repeatedly adjusted their plans based on information created by the Ghost Army, unknowingly responding to a carefully constructed illusion.
The unit rarely stayed in one location for long. Once a deception operation ended, they moved quickly and prepared to create another fake army somewhere else. By this stage of the war, senior commanders viewed the Ghost Army as a valuable strategic asset capable of influencing major battlefield decisions. Germany was beginning to lose ground across multiple fronts, but the war was not yet over. The Ghost Army's most important missions were still ahead. As Allied forces pushed toward Germany, military operations became larger and more complex. The Ghost Army was now being trusted with some of them. One major objective was convincing German commanders that Allied forces planned to cross rivers at locations where no large attack was actually coming.
By combining visual deception, radio traffic, and battlefield sound effects, the Ghost Army created an illusion so convincing that
every incorrect German decision weakened their ability to respond elsewhere. The Ghost Army's success allowed real Allied units to move with reduced resistance. While German attention focused on false threats, genuine military operations achieved important objectives that might otherwise have faced stronger opposition. Few people outside the unit knew how much effort was required to maintain these illusions. Every successful mission depended on careful planning and flawless execution. First, as Germany's position weakened, the importance of every successful Allied operation increased. By the end of the war, numerous operations had demonstrated the value of strategic deception. As victory approached, the unit's mission was coming to an end. Yet the extraordinary story of the Ghost Army would remain hidden from the public for many years. The Ghost Army helped save lives, protect Allied operations, and influence the outcome of critical missions through creativity rather than firepower.